What up? It's your boy AJ here with Daily Sports Talk. Episode 12, I believe. It's a lot of basketball last night, so let's just dive straight in. First game of the night, we got Magic Knicks. Two, let's say, up and coming teams in the East. They're trying to both figure it out. Both teams have quality players on their team. No superstars yet. You can make a case for Vucevic on the Magic and then Randall on the Knicks, but not established yet. And this was a good, second tier matchup in the East. The Knicks won the game 91-84, and R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle were big in the fourth quarter. They had two back-to-back buckets to pretty much ice the game with like a minute left in the game. The Knicks, like I said, it's going to be the Knicks and I believe Knicks and the Cavs to fight for that like 9-10 spot. The Magic may be in there. But like I've said before, it all comes down to, I know what Julius Randle's going to do. He's going to give you his stat line every night. He's going to be there when you need him to be. Last night, 21, 17, and 1. I mean, that double-double's coming every game from Julius. It's a matter of if his teammates can help. And one of the biggest helps he has, he has Bullock, of course. He can hit threes. Payton is a good point guard. I like him. But they brought RJ there to be that second guy. And he's going to have to play like this in order for them to even have a chance to make the playoffs. And last night he played well, 22, 10, and 4. That's the type of stat line you're going to need from R.J. Barrett if they want to compete at all. So, it was a good game, good Eastern Conference game. On the other side, Vucevic, he's another guy who's going to give you what he gives you, 24 and 14. They played well, but it was a back and forth game for most of the game, and the Knicks ended up winning the game in the last minute of the fourth between those two guys. So they need to continue to be big and grow, and they have depth. They're not like the highest quality of depth, but they do have depth on their team. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe they'll make that 9-10 spot start to turn the New York franchise around. Because we know what the other team down in Brooklyn is doing. So let's go to the next game. We got Hawks and Timberwolves. Like I said, the Hawks are a team that they can score. They can score a lot. They're not the most efficient team. They remind me of a young Rockets team when they were shooting up a crazy number of threes. But they can score when they're hitting. Last night they put up 28 threes. They were 40% from the line. They shot well from the free throw line, 92%. That's what they're gonna need to do to win games. They're not too bad. They were out. Cam Reddish is a big part of their team, but they were going against the Timberwolves. And for the Timberwolves, I'm not really sure what's going on with them. They had a couple guys out, but not big impact guys. They had actually no, they did. They did have no Cat again, which is a problem for them. If he's not in there, they don't even have a chance to compete. I'm not saying he's gonna allow them to win games, but he doesn't even give them a. Without him, they don't have a shot to even be in games. They shot awful from the free throw line, 68%, and then they just didn't play a well-rounded game.
Pro Extra is the Home Depot's loyalty program built just for pro.
And it showed last night. They got out-rebounded. Cat's not there, like I said. 32 assists for the Hawks, 22 for the Timberwolves. So they weren't really moving the ball around. They were just kind of doing isos. For the Hawks, they had 26 turnovers, but the Timberwolves weren't really able to capitalize too much on that. So with that poor free throw shooting, you're losing the rebound battle, and you don't capitalize on turnovers. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna lose that game, which they did. Clint Capella was big, 23, 15, and 2 for the Hawks, and they won that game 108-97. Next game was the Spurs and the Trailblazers. I think they had the same record, 8-6. They're both gonna be in the playoffs. Both good quality teams. They're opposites though. One's a team oriented. I'm not saying the Trailblazers are not, but the Trailblazers are more about catching fire at the right time. They're shooters. They shoot their way into games. They can sometimes shoot their way out of games, but they're usually efficient. Dame had 35, 6 and 3, and he had a good game, but the Spurs were just able to play team ball, and they just dominated this game. They had 3 starters in double digits, and they had 3 starters 3 bench players in double digits, so that'll help. They're deep. They have guys that can score. Patty Mills and Rudy Gay off the bench, just those two alone, they can get you like 40-ish a night. So it's gonna be good for the Spurs to have those guys off the bench. We need DeRozan to play like this on a nightly basis, and they'll be a force. They're usually always there just because of their culture and their coaching, their system. But if your superstars can play well, you have even a better shot. DeRozan was 20, 11, and 6. He had 2 steals. Got to take care of the ball a little more, but when he has the ball in his hands a lot because he has stuff going, the turnovers are going to come. And for the Trailblazers, no C.J. McCollum last night, so he had to do it. Lillard had to do it on his own. Hood stepped up a little bit. He had 21 points in the starting lineup, but if you're missing CJ, that's your 1-2 punch. Dame did what he's supposed to do, but with CJ on there, you're gonna have an extra 20 to 25 points, and then on top, maybe Hood still goes for a good game, and then you lose by 21 last night. That's what CJ is in there to do. So it would have been a tighter game, I believe, but it was still a pretty good game. They didn't shoot too good from the 3-point line for the Trailblazers, 28%, and the Spurs shot 45% from the 3-point line. So they were hot. They were moving the ball, spreading it out, finding a hot guy, and they were knocking down threes. And the Spurs, that's how they're gonna win games, by going to what's working. They're a team that, if they're hitting threes, they're gonna stick with it. If they're not, they have a LaMarcus. They can dump it down, and they're just so they're in tune with each other. They know how to play. They stay within their system, and they don't play out their roles. So the Spurs will be there. They'll be there in the playoffs. They'll be a team you gotta watch out for. So 125-104. Spurs over the Trailblazers. Next game of the night, Suns Grizzlies. Now I told y'all that the Grizzlies would be a good team, playoff bound team, 7 through 10 probably. If and when Ja Morant came back, and you're seeing it firsthand, what I said, because the Grizzlies team prior to him coming back, they were deep in scoring. Their whole team was contributing. They were playing good, solid basketball. Their chemistry wasn't too messed up because those guys have been there together for years now. They all comfortable with each other and their roles. Dylan had to step up a little more to take over that role for Morant. But now that he's back, he can orchestrate the offense. He jumped right back in. He's making big plays, making big decisions. He made a drive and kick to I think it was Grayson Allen for a 3 to pretty much take the lead and finish him off. they're just a different team with John Morant, and as you can see, they're 7-6. They're 8th right now in the West, and they're going to be there to stay because their team is a good team. They're solid. They know how to play. And I said this, when he comes back, they're gonna be a force. Morant had 17, 10 and 3. He just knows how to play basketball. For me, the Grizzlies had a good game, but for me it was more concerning looking at the Suns, who I said was arrived. They looked real. They looked like they were here to stay. I'm not saying that they're about to just flop and be the worst team in the league, but they need to understand. And I would think it'd be easier with Chris Paul at the helm, but they get out to a big lead to start games, and then they get complacent, sort of like the Clippers last year. They know the firepower they have, and we all know the capability when they playing together, when they're hitting, when they're moving on defense, talking. We see how dominant they can be, but you come out firing in the first quarter, and then you lose the second quarter 24-34. It just can't happen. Not if you want to be the top team and go far in the playoffs. They're not. I mean, I know they have some new players on their team, but Chris Paul is one of the ultimate leaders and point guards in history. A true point guard, so he needs to be able to get this team under the wrap, like he did with